Hello there, YouTube. Kenny here, aka Silent85. I'm doing a vlog about something that I've vlogged about once or twice before. And something that's a pretty touchy subject in social life when it really shouldn't be, because, the obvious answer is it just needs to stop. But unfortunately, a lot of people turn a blind eye to it because they think it's funny or they think it's a part of childhood. But the truth is, bullying is not good at all. Um, I kind of wanted to share a story that I've told a few people, not necessarily just family and friends, but I've told a few people to help them out. But when I was a kid, and especially growing up, because I was a bigger kid, well, let's face it, I was fat. But I got bullied. In fact, I even got jumped once by a few kids that didn't think I was cool enough. Um, Now, luckily, it didn't end as bad as some of the worst case scenarios that have happened in life in other parts of the country and the world. But it did help me come to a point to where I just didn't take it anymore. Um, Mainly because of my upbringing. My parents really did their best to just kind of tell me to fight back and all this and that. But I was also a really nice guy. I still am to some degree. But back then, I took a lot of stuff and didn't really do anything. I just took it. But I lived in I lived in Grand Prairie, Texas, and for those that don't know, Grand Prairie, Texas is actually um, there are some major parts that's gang territory, and these kids thought they were in a gang. Well, it was some local kids that actually lived in the same apartment complex as I did, and two of them were cousins. The other one was really, really close friends with one. I'm not going to drop any names here, but these guys, back when they were, it's easily to excuse them as being kids, but these kids were 13, 14 years old, so they had a general idea of what they were doing. Um, But if, for lack of a better term, there were a few douchebags when you look back at it, or at least when I look back at it from my point of view. And essentially what had happened was I was walking home, um, and I took a shortcut behind a building that got me home faster because I wanted to get home. I think I was playing Final Fantasy III at the time. And I was really excited, to get out of school, just run and get home. Um, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these guys come from around the corner and just start pushing me, shoving me, pushing me against the wall, kicking me, all this and that. And I had some bruises on me, but again, I just took it because I didn't know that I should fight back. I didn't know if I could because there was three of them, and I was a big guy, I'll admit, but I was one of those big guys that was like a puppy. I didn't, I didn't like fighting. But when pushed, it came to a point. Um, And I honestly don't remember what happened afterwards. I didn't end up in the hospital. I didn't do all this and that. But um, a few days later, one of these kids posted a sign on my house door. And I don't remember what it said, but I remember going into a rage, like a literal rage, and and in fact, I just remember the kid's name. Um, Started chasing this kid down the street. My mom was yelling at me because she thought I was going to kill him. And I just, for lack of a better word, I snapped because these guys, this is, it's just a couple of occasions within a multitude of stuff they had done to me, stuff they had done to my family and all this and that. And these kids were out of control. They didn't have any parenting. They didn't have anybody around to show them. They didn't have any role models. So the best thing they knew how to do in life was to pick on other people, to cause mayhem, cause mischief. But they were taking it to a level that makes you think these kids are going to either grow up to be drug dealers, psychotics, serial killers, and it was just scary. So something snapped, and when they started doing this to my home, when it started involving my family, especially my mother, I again just snapped, and I chased the kid down. I remember tripping him hitting the ground, and that's about it. Because my mom came in and intervened. So bullying can have an effect mentally on people, especially if the the person doesn't have the right parents around, or doesn't have the right upbringing, or don't know their limits, or don't even know if they have limits. Um, people can react in different ways, and other people can become so depressed and so withdrawn that they commit suicide. Or it could go the total opposite way. They could end up hurting somebody to such a degree. And it might not even be the person that's bullying them. It may be somebody that reminds them of them, and this is probably a decent person, but this person just snaps and does something that is unthinkable. So bullying is real. And I wanted to share that with you. I also wanted to tell you about a charity that I'm a big fan of Stephen Amell, the guy that plays Green Arrow on Arrow. And being a comic nerd, it's understandable. But I'm subscribed, or I liked his Facebook. I follow him on Facebook, and they're recently starting a campaign for a charity called Stand for the Silent, which is about bullying and trying to spread the word about bullying. So I'm going to put a link down below to the website. And I really wanted to share that story with my subscribers just to make you a little bit aware of, from my point of view, what bullying can do. Now, I grew up to be a decent guy. I've never done anything purely physically violent. I've never, lashed out at anybody. I've never done anything like that. But the effects of your childhood can reach far and wide. So it's just something to remember. If you have kids, keep them under control. Raise them. Do what's right. And they'll be better for it. May not see it. It may be hard, but I'm not a parent. Honestly, I don't understand. All I see is what my mom went through, and what my parents did for me, what my grandparents did for me. And overall, I think it turned out pretty well. So anyway, salute for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Remember, you are an awesome person. Never let the world tell you otherwise. I'll see you.